In a little bit, we're going to go climb on our horse and practice transitions, but as always, it's important that we understand what a transition is, because if we're not really clear, then sometimes what happens, we go out and practice, but we practice and put the priorities in the wrong place, and so we end up not getting the response or results that we want from our horse. So, a transition. What is a transition? What is the definition of a transition? Well, a transition is change. Any change. It could be from a walk to, or a standstill to a walk, a slow walk to a little bit faster walk. It could be from a walk to a trot. It could be a trot to a lope, or a turn right, turn left, or speed up, or slow down, or any of the above, from a left lead to a right lead. So a transition, the definition of a transition, is any change that we want the horse to make. All transitions should be made in a collected manner. Well, doggone it, what does collection mean? Well, the definition of collection is where the rider collects their thoughts before they start. So we have to think through the transition and make sure that we're developing the picture that we want, that we have in our mind underneath us with the horse. Okay? All right, so what is the formula for practicing transitions? Since we understand what a transition is, and we understand that all transitions should be made in a collected manner, where we think them through first, it's first, to get the transition or change correctly. So it's not important how many times we get the change, or just getting the change. It isn't just getting the horse to back up. It's getting the horse to back up in the correct frame that we want him to back up in. So it's always practicing whatever we want him to do and get it as perfectly correctly as we can get it. Then the next step is to get it correctly consistently. All right? Well, that means, again, we want to practice getting the correct body position, the transition correct. Now we just need to practice getting it more times than not, almost all the time, and then getting it every time. And then finally, getting the correct transition where we want it. And that's a hard thing to do sometimes, because what happens is this. Let's say that I'm trying to get my horse to make this transition, and where I want him to make it, I want him to pick up speed or go into the lope right here. Well, what happens is the closer I get to that spot that I have picked on the ground to get my horse to do what I want him to do, the more aggressive I become with my legs. That is a bad thing to do. I don't want to do that. It's important that the more aggressive I become with my aids to give him the cue to do it, then what will happen is I'll actually mess up the transition. So it's important to know that getting it where I want it is the least important part of making a nice transition. So first, it's getting the transition correctly, getting it correctly consistently, and then getting it correctly where I want it, and then getting it correctly consistently where I want it. Okay? So those are what we're going to think about as we go out to work with our horse on transitions.